Oh yeah, people, before I start the video, you gotta listen to me talk for a sec. Well, you do listen to me talk, but you gotta listen to me talk about, other things. Have a look there on screen. The zone, we've got Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We have the problem child versus, well, I mean, he really is a problem child. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's a meeting of the problem child. It will be live on the zone. Link will be in the description. I'm also putting the link, right? You'll see it there on screen. There's a lot of Addy and G-Man content there. There's a little bit, I think there's a couple of episodes, a couple of clips of the look back that me and Addy did on Kell Brook Triple G. It's a good way to stay in touch, see what I'm at, kind of see what goes on. I don't really do that much of everyday stuff, but it's there nonetheless. It'll be pinned in the comment section. Hopefully you guys like it. Let me know. Until then, enjoy. Alright people, some boxing news, some heavyweight news. Now apologies, I've been away. By my standards, I think it's been 2 or 3 days, which is a long time for me to be away. But I have been really under the weather this week. Really, I'm still not fully 100. Well, I'm far from 100% today. But I had a good sleep. I went sick today, so I had a good sleep, and I am feeling well enough at this point in the afternoon to do some recording. And look, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Let's have a look-see, right? Joseph Parker, this is the news, right? I'll do another video about Deontay Wilder because, believe me, there's a lot of news there. Him and Anthony Joshua. But Joseph Parker, so without going into too much detail before I read this, I seen that he was going to be in Box Park on July the 19th. That's up in Wembley. It's literally on Wembley Way, right? And I was thinking, okay, he's doing a meet and greet in Box Park. Clearly not going to be on the card. It's not going to happen. He's not going to be fighting on the card. So where does that leave Joseph Parker? Well, Sky Sports are saying that Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora 3 would receive the approval of the WBO and the New Zealand heavyweight. The WBO was open to Joseph Parker defending his interim heavyweight title, his interim WBO heavyweight title against Derek Chisora. New Zealanders also willing to accept the Trilogy clash against Chisora. Parker has previously defeated his British rival via a split and unanimous decision. Joseph Parker has been given the green light to defend his WBO interim title against Chisora in a Trilogy clash. Parker is expected to return in September and has already been named as the mandatory challenger for the winner of Usyk versus Dubois on July the 19th, with New Zealanders set to select his next opponent from the WBO. Rankings, the governing body have stated they would approve a third fight between Chisora and Parker, as Chisora is ranked number 7. Yes, Parker may defend his interim title against any top 15 WBO world rank contender. WBO president has told Sky Sports. Parker's promoter David Higgins has confirmed the Kiwi would welcome another showdown with Derek Chisora. Speaking to Sky Sports, he said, "I'm sure he would be open to a third fight. Yes, Queensbury Promotion, who represent Chisora and Parker, currently are putting plans in place for the upcoming months. We are working on autumn events scheduled and looking forward to announcing some great events in due course," said a Queensbury spokesperson when asked about Chisora versus Parker 3. So yeah, there's not an awful lot. It does say at the end he's in red hot form with having real law victories against Wilder, Zhang and Bacoli, but that is essentially that. So let's talk about this. So alright, it's a strange one for me, because for me, probably the biggest name fight for both respective guys is not themselves. It's a decent fight. It's a decent fight in terms of, it'll definitely draw attention. It's not necessarily the biggest fight in terms of, where does it leave Joseph Parker. Obviously, if Chisora wins, he's IBF mandatory and he's WBO interim champion, which would most likely elevate him to full champion depending on who wins the respective Usyk Dubois fight. So for Chisora, it's a no-brainer. For Joseph Parker, on the other hand, it's really only a money fight, because if you think about it like this, the biggest name that was there for both guys, Chisora and Parker, was Dylan White. He's now tied in. He's going to be fighting Moses Atamba, so it's not going to be him. And you could even add Anthony Joshua's name into that list. Dylan White, although he's shot to bits, is a man. He's a wanted man for the simple reason that he's a name and he brings money to the table anyway in terms of name value. And well, there you go. So you look down the rankings, and I don't have the rankings open in front of me here, but you would imagine that Joseph Parker, having fought Wilder, having fought Zhang, having fought Bacoli, albeit the Bacoli fight, we all know what happened there, it was a complete debacle, but having fought those guys, he probably does want a little slight easier touch. He probably does. So for him, although the first Chisora fight was tricky, the second fight wasn't as tricky. He did have his moments there, Chisora, but for the most part, it was Joseph Parker on top. You would imagine that he's looking now thinking, all right, Chisora's on a good run of form, but Gerald Washington pushed him far. He fought an absolutely awful Otto Vallian, who Joseph Parker would deal with Otto Vallian like that. He did with Anthony Joshua and Otto Vallian, really. And who else did he fight? He fought Joe Joyce. Now that's an interesting one because Joe Joyce, a man who did knock out Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora beat and dropped Joe Joyce. Joseph Parker couldn't do that. But even still, you know, Joe Joyce has been looking a little bit worse for wear lately. And for my money, Chisora's speech has regressed a good bit. He's just... it's not for me to tell him when he should retire. He wants to get to 50. And if this is his 50th fight, please, dear God, let him retire. I think that's the best way to go out. Him against Parker, it's a money fight. It's a fight that the fans will lap up. It's a trilogy fight. You can sell the history. You can sell a rivalry there. But at the end of the day, I don't give Joseph Parker, or don't give Derek Chisora a chance of winning this fight. Had it been a trilogy fight against Dylan White, I'd make Chisora favourite. But then the question would be, well, who would Joseph Parker fight? Because, you know, Anthony Joshua's not coming back till later this year, way later in the year. And Eddie Hearn is probably not... Eddie Hearn is talking about Tyson Fury. He's not going to put him in with Joseph Parker. He's just not going to do it. And Joseph Parker obviously wants a big payday. He wants to get well paid. He's been on a good run of form. He's due a title shot. So he doesn't want to scamper that, but he also wants to get paid. There you go. So if you look down the rankings, and I'm sure, as I said, I don't have the rankings in front of me, there's probably no one there in the rankings who is going to be as probably safe a fight as Derek Chisora, although nothing's safe in heavyweight boxing. We all know that. Joseph Parker was on the deck in the first fight. But he's probably a safe-ish fight now, and it's the biggest fight in terms of name value, money, etc. that Parker can get into, with the exception of world title fights. So it makes sense in that regard. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video, people. As always, if you could, smash the like button, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed the setup.